Hi, my name's Mike German. I'm a fellow with the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU Law School, and today I'm with Melvin Goodman. Mr. Goodman spent 2 decades as a senior analyst at the CIA and State Department, and taught at the National War College, and now is with Johns Hopkins University in the Center for International Policy. What's the you spent a long career in intelligence and writing about intelligence, also the author of Failure of Intelligence, The Decline and Fall of the CIA. What is the appropriate purpose of an intelligence agency?
Well, I think for the purpose you have to go back to Harry Truman. He wanted a quiet intelligence agency to be the place where intelligence was gathered, where it was collected, where it was distributed, but he didn't want it part of the policy process. So when he went to the intelligence agency for a response to a key question that was policy related, it wouldn't be grinding a policy axe. It would be the intelligence with the bark on, telling the president what is the best assessment, given the fact that you never have a complete picture. But I think the emphasis on a quiet intelligence agency, because he later wrote an op-ed attacking what the CIA had become.
And you wrote in 2013 in National Insecurity, another book of yours, that the United States has one of the most secure geopolitical environments of any major nation. And yet our defense, national defense and intelligence budgets outperform almost all other potential enemies or potential threats to the United States. What do you think drives that national insecurity, as you call it?
Well, I think two key events. One was the collapse of the Soviet Union, when there should have been a genuine debate and discussion of what is national security policy and what should American grand strategy be. Not only did that not take place, there was no attempt to really look at the military budget or the intelligence budget. So it continued to grow modestly. But then with 9/11, I think ever since 9/11 we've been scaring ourselves to death. And we do it with spending, we do it with so-called homeland security, we do it with militarization of policy and the creation of this national security state. So 9/11 was a key turning point, comparable to Pearl Harbor and the surprise attack.
And give me an idea of the scope of the national security state. What are we talking about?
Well, when you're talking about the national security state, you're talking about the role of the military. And it builds on what President Eisenhower warned about in terms of the military-industrial complex. But it's the role of the military in intelligence, the intelligence czars who are general officers or flag officers, active duty or retired. It's too many generals who are serving overseas as ambassadors. It's generals such as Obama did, appointing a retired Marine general to be the national security advisor. It's putting a General Hayden or a General Petraeus in as director of the Central Intelligence Agency. So by militarization, to me, it's the influence of the Pentagon and too much reliance on the military, which I think President Obama knows has been wrong. He's addressed it, but given the global situation, I think he's limited in how he can address that.
And you mentioned in your books that President Eisenhower was very skeptical of military intelligence, and that's why he relied on the CIA as a civilian intelligence agency. Why would you be skeptical of military intelligence?
Well, I think he knew that military intelligence was usually worst case analysis. He knew that from his military experience. And Tim Weiner wrote a book on the CIA called Legacy of Ashes, which was a misquote. Eisenhower said that, but he wasn't talking about the CIA. He was talking about military intelligence. And what CIA was supposed to do was to provide intelligence that wasn't necessarily worst case analysis, that was designed in part to justify a military budget and a weapons acquisition budget.